it's dog years, man. We got dog year syndrome on this case, man.
Yeah.
The shorter the year, the longer it's been. Um, and really, one of the things that one of the reasons why I wanted to bring June on the show is because number one, we share experience in that regard, being around for so long. But more importantly, because June has done an incredible job of not only navigating the space, but also helping other people to do so. Like he's not only a sales coach and performer, but he's not only a sales pro, a sales professional, but he's also a coach and a growth operator. And he runs a company called Hypnotic Closer that's actually changing the way sales is done. Like the stuff June is doing now, like I haven't seen done in a long time. And so I'm interested to kind of jump in and talk about that, but also I'm kind of talk about like how he's helped other people to, get to a stage in a place that most people never get to. Like when you think about it, most of us came into the sales world, with the promise of making 10, 15, 20,000, $30,000 or more per month, working from a laptop or on a phone, working less than 2 to 3 hours a day, but the
Yeah.
reality in most cases that is not necessarily so. And it takes a bit of time to kind of get to it. So we're going to talk about like how you kind of get to a point like that. And then we're going to be talking about a few things that have to do with hypnosis because the reality of the matter is that because this is such a new thing, you know, it may be a scary thing to some people to think about like hypnotizing either themselves or hypnotizing their prospects, quote unquote. And we're going to talk about what those things mean. So without further ado, I want to welcome Mr. June Choi.
Thanks for welcoming me in, like a really solid intro over here. I feel
Yeah, man.
I feel flattered now. I'm
Yeah, man.
blushing.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. First and foremost, before we kind of get into too many things, I saw the post where they gave you an early birthday.
Early birth, yeah. It's like so I do weekly I host these like weekly dinners in my favorite
Okay.
Korean restaurant, like shout out to Smoky Moto by the way in Dubai. So me and Brian, we do these dinners. We go like we have a KPI by the way. We go to these Korean restaurant 3 times a week.
Mm,
So you know what? I've been networking in Dubai unintentionally. Like people just like want to network with me, and I've been invited to certain events, and I was like, you know what? I'll just like chime in, and then I was like, I built a good network over here, and I was like, you know what? Like me and Brian, there's a girl named Hannah as well. She's one of my best friends. Like we all hang out in this restaurant all together, but we have solid networks. I have a solid network as well. So like, why don't you actually host dinners, like entrepreneurial dinners every single week? So that dinner table,
mm,
everyone was like, there was no one who was doing like 6 figures a year, and everyone was doing at least minimum multiple 7 figures a year. So high
mm.
caliber of people, all hanging out together, all goofing around. And my birthday is March 14th, and the guy came in and was like bringing a cake, and it was like a birthday cake. I was like, oh, okay, there must be someone's birthday because there was like at least 12 dudes there. I like invited 12 guys over and there's like 12 guys in. And I'm like, okay, so whose birthday is it? Oh, okay, cool. Whose birthday is it? And it was like, the guy was giving the cake to me. I was like, no, it's not my birthday. My birthday's March. And I mean, this is what I say. Bros will always be bros, by the way. No matter how much money you make, everyone's like playing around and be like, hey, Jude, happy birthday. No, it's not my birthday. My birthday is March. No. It was like, happy birthday. I'm proud of you, brother. Proud of you, brother.
Yeah,
What are you proud of?
yeah.
I didn't achieve anything. But that was like a whole prank. Good memories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was good. I was watching the clip of it, and I was like, "What on earth is going on there?" But it does speak to a point. It does speak to a point. Um, that I think Joel Elster made one time that at some point the trap within the remote sales profession is that most people just stay at home. Right? We like the idea of like, being at home, kind of working from home on your own time, on your own schedule. But most people get to the point where that's all that they do. Like they never get a chance to go out and enjoy other people. So I guess like was that a transition you had to make too? Like being in your home, in your office to being able to start being out more, or was that something you were naturally already doing? Like what's the story there?
I'm never a natural networker. I wish I was.
Mm,
Like for example, you see like Grant Cardo's daughter, like Elena Cardo, I don't know, like what Sabrina Cardo.
mm,
Like these girls are already like great salespeople already. I was never born
mm,
like that. Like both of my parents were extremely shy. So it was definitely a transition because and that's where competency came from. And we'll talk about
Mm,
influence and all that. But that's where competency came from because there was a day in my life where I was staying in my room for 8 months in Korea. It's just a small room. I was taking calls
mm,
from 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. literally every single day.
right.
That built
What
who
was
I
the
am
time
right
frame?
now. 10 p.m. to 8 a.m. because I was
Wow.
closing like people from the U.S. So
Right,
10 p.m. to
right.
8 a.m. every single day. Like there was a point where I was like hating my life, but I was like, you know what? I really want to be good at the shit. I really want to be good at the shit. So for me,
Mm-hmm,
like that was a time that built me up, where like, people ask me now, hey June, how do you like connect with all these high level entrepreneurs? Like it's like
right.
the thing is, these people will not hang out with bums. These people will not hang out with bums, and like everyone's told in Dubai to be skeptical with each other. Like everyone's fake.
Is that
So in order
so?
for you to, yeah, yeah, yeah. So you gotta be careful with who you hang out with. But in order for you to stand out, you gotta be really good at what you do. Just be really, really
Mm,
good at what you do. Like for me, like I know I'm really good at what I do, and like when I introduce myself, I introduce, hey, I train I train sales team or salespeople how to sell hypnotically. If I was just a
mm,
normal salesperson, they'll be like, or a sales trainer, they'll be like, hey, who the fuck are you? But since they know that
mm,
I'm different and the way I just like show up to them is different as well, like they check my content. We exchange Instagram. They check my content, and they end up like wanting to work with me. Where I have two deals going on right now, where they want me to take over the sales team. So that's what's happening right now. And just my sheer,
mm,
I believe that yes, I've built a good enough life experience and
mm,
competency, and like I understand influence. And for me, humans are very predictable. And I know that sounds really
mm,
bad, but humans are very predictable. So I know which strings to pull now at this point
mm,
to have someone, whether they hate me or not. I know how to really manipulate that reality now. So for me, networking now like comes very natural for me. That's the point.
mm, mm. When you, excuse me, kind of reminds me of something I've thought of for a long time, which is the easiest ways to build relationships with anyone is just to be useful. Be useful, be valuable. Every relationship that you can think of starts with the exchange of some sort of value. Answering a
Yeah,
question about what direction you should go in. You're in school, you're trying to help a person get to their next class. You're trying to help people navigate the times and all this kind of stuff. Everything starts by solving some sort of problem. Even if solving that problem or demonstrating value is just changing a person's emotional state, right? There's a common theme even in like dating with women, things like that, where a lot of people they may not have the looks and things like that, but they can demonstrate they have personality, that they're creative, that they enjoy life, that they have a life. And it's something about that that makes people attractive. So most people, even people who are brand new, like they're thinking, so like how I'm brand new, I don't know anyone, like how do I kind of get started? One of the things that you can spend a lot of your time doing is figure out ways to add value, whether it be understanding the industry and sharing with them resources, whether it be, introducing them to people that they may need help with. Like I remember one time introducing a guy to a copywriter one time. It's like he wasn't looking for a salesperson, he was looking for a copywriter. So being able to make that introduction facilitated and it gave me a strong enough position. So, even with this concept of networking, like you have to figure out ways to be useful, be valuable, and to be human.
yeah,
What a
yeah.
concept, right? Be human. What
And
a concept.
what a concept. But this is what I say. Like maybe you might be able to make more money in like e-com, copywriting, other industries. But
Mm,
which industry actually gives you the
mm-hmm,
most amount of growth when it comes to influence directly with
mm,
one-on-one with a human being? Like
mm-hmm,
there were so many times in my career where I was tempted to be a copywriter, for example, or do e-com because
mm-hmm,
my natural talent is, and you know me, my natural talent is I'm good at writing. I'm a writer.
mm-hmm.
I don't like I don't like talking with human beings one on one, honestly. No diss on you, but like that's just not my
Yeah, yeah,
jam.
yeah, yeah. No, no
Yeah,
problem,
yeah.
no problem.
Yeah. I'm just a really born introvert. Like I just
Mm,
really don't like networking with people. I mean, even when I was in Dubai for the first year, I never really networked with people. It's just like I don't need people to build me up. I just can build myself up alone. So I
mm,
was tempted to be a copywriter so many times, but now thinking about it, like I always think about it now. It's like, oh shit, if I actually became a copywriter, I would have definitely made more money, I think, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But the level of experiences that I'm experiencing right now in terms of like network or opportunities that are coming my way, these would have
Mm-hmm.
never been attained if I never really learned sales, if I never really done sales, and if I never
Mm-hmm.
really, like, I don't want to say mastered, but if I never really understood and really kept in heart on going for mastery with sales, like
Mm-hmm.
for me, like sales is not just about like reading a few words and to prospect and like painting and future pacing, just asking like, do you like? Those are not that is not influence for me. Influence is really being able to read the human being less than 1 minute, like decode the human being, seeing what their beliefs are, really being able to put someone in trance if I need to as well, and being able to command respect, demand respect, and being able to set
Mm-hmm.
boundaries, being able to show warmth, charisma. Like those are things that I'm really, really interested in.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you see my sales calls time to time where they're very unorthodox. They're very
Mm-hmm.
unorthodox. I don't ask any questions that's being taught predominantly in the space, and we know those questions. Where they came from. I don't
Mm-hmm.
ask any of those painting future pacing questions. Anything. The way I sell is very in tune to human emotion, human influence. And we'll talk about that as well
Mm-hmm.
as we go.
Right. Because I think that one of the big things I really, really enjoyed, one of the things I was shocked to know actually when I was doing the research of it was you've helped more than I think it's like 33, 34 people or so, like reach their first
It's
10K month,
41
right?
now. It's
It's
41 now.
41 now.
Yeah.
Okay. Scratch the record on that one. No.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
like
need to
41
apologize
people.
this. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. How
So
dare you,
like
peer? How
41,
dare you, peer?
how dare you, man? How dare you, man? Scratch my record. So 41 people, you know, as I think I said this earlier when we were just talking offline, it's just like very rarely do people hit like that. It's hit a metric like that at $10,000 or more per month. And if they did hit it, they definitely don't do it consistently, right? So like when you're talking about, let's say engineering or building a sales process, because a lot of these people like they've never been in sales before, right? Like how do you create a how do well, I guess like how do you create a $10,000 rep? Like what goes into the like you were baking one from scratch, right? Like what goes into making a 10K rep and making it consistent?
Um, wow, that's so. If I were to just pick one aspect of the question,
Hmm.
one thing that I'm very huge on is leading by example.
Okay.
So what I mean by that is, back in the days when I wasn't taking sales calls as a sales coach, I'll just always role play me myself as a closer in front of everyone. So I'll
Hmm.
show how it's done. I never talk about theory. I'll show it.
Hmm.
Always show it how it's done. Always show
Hmm.
how it's done. It's like, you know why people pay for masterminds, by the way? Like
Why
in-person
is it?
masterminds, like they don't pay for information, by the way. When you go to an event held by Russell Brunson, by the way, you don't go
Hmm.
there just for information. You go there for the network. But when you go for the network, what I found out is that the more you go into these masterminds, the more it breaks the beliefs that you have around like how much you can make, for example. Like you see a
Hmm.
bum, for example, you have a conversation with a guy, and then it's like the most stupidest conversation. Your like brain is rotting, but you later find out that guy's making 200K a month, and your brain what that does is like it cracks your belief now. It's like, fuck,
Hmm.
that guy's doing it, and I can't. Like, why am I not there? Not in like a
Hmm.
bad, like self-deprecating way. It's more like,
Right.
oh shit, like anything is possible. Anything is
Raises the
possible.
standard on it.
It raises my standards, and that's what Dubai did to me. But that's another story for another day. But coming back to that point, it's like I always lead by example. So I show how it's done. Now what I do is I actually show my sales calls. So if someone
Hmm.
asks me a question, hey June, I get this type of objection. How do I overcome it? Instead of talking about theory, series, and all these, one of the kinks that I have, well, kinks, one of the icks that I have with sales coaches is that they talk about theories all the time. They talk about, well, you need to pre-handle this way, this way, this way. Okay,
Hmm.
show me a real life sales call. Show me how it's done
Hmm.
actually. Show me how
Hmm.
you do it then. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you make it sound so easy. Just show me how it's done. How it's done.
Mm-hmm.
Like show me, you know. So for me, it's like if
Mm-hmm.
someone tells me, "Hey, June, I've been having this type of objection," yeah, of course I understand. I explain it, like I talk about why it even happens, like what needs to be done after that. But what I instantly do after that is like I show my sales call. I
Mm-hmm.
show my sales calls like how I objection handle with a 32K deal, for example, 96K deal, objection handling like people that are making 500K a month, right? 25K a month, sorry, 500K a month, to, all the way from 25K a month to 500K a month. Those are people that I
Mm-hmm.
objection handle with. Like one of the things that really I really had a hard time making money in high ticket sales the first 2.5 years. It took me 2.5 years to make my first 10K a month because
Mm-hmm.
whenever a sales coach told me, "Hey June, like you should overcome this objection this way," and I'm not blaming on them,
Mm-hmm.
but I
Mm-hmm.
never really believed that. Oh, will that work for me? Will that work for me? Will that work for me? I've never really seen that proof of concept.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've seen the proof of concept from myself now when I achieved it. And I was like, oh shit, it's working now.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I believe that the reason why it's working so well and I was able to have, my students were able to have the success was able to raise their standards in regards to, hey, this is what's possible. This is what's possible in regards to closing a 96K deal or 32K deal. This is what's possible. Yeah. A week ago, I closed a 25K deal, covered the first session of the hypnosis for the, so it's, she paid $8,000. I
Mm-hmm.
followed up with her for a month and a half, by the way. I literally screen shared my whole entire follow up process in front of everyone. So now,
Mm-hmm.
literally, they have no excuses to actually do it now. It's up to them, but they have no excuses but to do it. Because why? Like, I have no reason to follow up with people like that. But the only reason why I do it is because I'm the example, I'm the leader. So
Mm-hmm.
that sets the
Mm-hmm.
tone on what's possible. Another thing is I've been back in the days. I don't think people recently know, but back in the days, kudos to Mark Cortese. I've been coached by Mark Cortese 4 years ago. Marco knows, by the way, because he's. I always say he's not the best coach. Like his coaching is doesn't make sense at all. But what he showed me was he showed me what's capable though. He showed me like
Mm-hmm.
close impossible deals. People say, oh,
Mm-hmm.
those deals are possible. He closed them.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I never give up on people anymore. That's why it's like, oh, okay, like if I don't close a sale, for example, someone would have closed it. Back in the days,
Mm-hmm.
I'll like keep on pushing myself for mastery. And now like these
That
guys
goes to
see it.
I was gonna say, Michael Jordan, to your point, Michael Jordan used to say, I've never lost the game, I've just ran out of time.
Yeah. I mean that's my mentality as well. It's like I just ran out of time. Like if I couldn't close a deal, I just ran out of time. But
Mm-hmm.
again, like that's how I cultivate reps basically. It's like I show. Like, instead of like telling them what they need to do, I show them what is how it's done, you know.
Okay. So the two things that kind of stood out to me was raising the standards by showing them what is possible, but also going from just mere theory, like classroom content like that, to being able to demonstrate showing these things applied in the real world. Because a lot of times what'll happen is it's like you'll learn, let's say you learn a technique. You learn a technique or a strategy, whatever that may be. What you end up finding is that the way that it's presented to you and the way it plays out in the real world, there are automatically new questions to be had. And so to kind of shortcut that process, being able to demonstrate it being done allows for those questions that would have been asked later to be asked now, right? Which therefore shortens the learning curve, which makes it easy to access and easy to replicate over time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What are some of the potholes you've seen um, students run into on the road to 10K per month?
I mean, I have students that have done multiple mentorship. They couldn't crack the code on it, you know, or I've
Mm-hmm.
had students that come from a zero, like zero sales background, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like they literally come from like a 9 to 5 background or even like college background. They don't know anything about how the professional world works in sales, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
That was a big mindset shift for me too, going from
yeah,
corporate to free market.
it's a yeah, it's a complete mindset shift, you know. Like it's a complete like you need to have certain beliefs to make this work, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
So so for me, like when someone comes in and they decide to train with me, one of the things that I really want to focus on is making
Mm-hmm.
sure that they have a clear why behind why they do
Mm-hmm.
what they do things, you know. So
Mm-hmm.
it's crazy because there are guys that I coach that have been in the game for 3 years or 4 years, making 20K a month. And they can't
Mm-hmm.
really break through that 20, 30K a month, 40K, 50K a month. So
Mm-hmm.
the first thing I ask them is like, hey, what's your sales philosophy?
Mm-hmm.
And surprisingly enough, I haven't seen one person give me a proper answer.
What is that,
Even
by
as
the way?
simple as like
Sales
sales
philosophy. What does that
philosophy.
mean?
Yeah. So
What does
sales
it mean?
philosophy is like what beliefs do you have in the call to make sure you influence a certain human being? Like
Give me an example.
what do you deem? So for example, it's a good parameter in terms of, was that a call that you've given your best, or was that a call that you
Mm.
absolutely slacked? So for
Okay.
me, like my goal has never been the sale actually. Sale, I've always
Mm.
looked at sale as the byproduct. And yeah, like it's a cliche thing, but my sales philosophy, for example, is in the beginning, it was, oh, I gotta create pain, gap selling. I gotta create a gap. Oh, if someone
Mm.
didn't close, that there wasn't enough gap in the call. That was my sales philosophy. So whenever I get on call, it's like, okay, let's create as much gap as possible. Was my sales philosophy.
Mm.
Then I
Mm.
realized pain future pacing, that shit doesn't work to the people that actually have the money or have the intent to
Mm.
actually work with us, you know. So
Mm.
I decided to be like, okay, so done my research. There's a book called Challenger Sale. Okay, so like I got to challenge people now. So I got to
Mm.
challenge people on their mindset. So that was my sales philosophy. It was like
Mm.
what I found myself is like I'm being too combative with people for
Right.
no freaking reason. So I was like,
Yeah.
so it's a constant move of like stress testing like my philosophy. Now, long story short,
Did
after a
this
few
happen
more,
overnight? You kind of work
yeah,
with it.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
few more evolution in place and different thinking, different research, like I'm obsessed with psychology.
Mm-hmm.
After all of that, it came down to the point where it's like, oh, my sales philosophy is, why are you selling yourself short when you can be more? And that's been my sales philosophy for the last 2.5 years at least, 2.5 years. My sales philosophy has always been, why are you selling yourself short when you can be more? It doesn't matter whether you're making $10 million a month. It doesn't matter if you're making 2K a month. It doesn't matter. Why are you selling yourself short when you can be more? Has always been my sales philosophy. So
Mm-hmm.
even if I don't make a sale in that call, what I know is that, did I make sure that the person know that he's selling himself short and he can always be
Mm-hmm.
more? He can always be more.
Mm-hmm.
Did the conversation go that direction? That's why me or my students never get stuck in a call.
Mm-hmm.
Is because we know what direction we need to take the call to, because that's our sales philosophy.
Right. And
If
see
your
that,
sales
and was
philosophy is based, sorry, if your sales philosophy is based on painting and future pacing, but let's say the person doesn't have pain. Let's say the guy's already
mm-hmm.
making $1 million a month, and you ask like, okay, what would it mean for you if you make $3 million a month? It's like, dude, it's the same shit. My survival is already taken care of. I retire my mom. Just want to make more
Mm-hmm.
money,
Mm-hmm.
right? So like you have to understand what sales philosophy you hold on to and define it and keep on stress testing it and asking yourself why that sales philosophy is your sales philosophy. No.
Right. Right. It's like there are a few things that came up with as you were talking about that, beliefs on what makes a good call. You have to have, you can't use did I make the sale as the metric, because you're always burning yourself out, because you're always trying to do you're trying to do multiple things on each call, and you're changing those things every time to try to get to the end result, which is making the sale. But we start quantifying, um I think it's called lagging indicators. Is that what it is? Leading and
Yeah.
lagging indicators.
Yeah.
If you define what those are, then the sale itself will take care of itself, right? But if you're spending a lot of your time, excuse me, you're spending a lot of your time focusing in on did I make this sale? Now you can burn yourself out, but if you got to, did I, in your case, did I demonstrate or reveal to them that they're selling themselves short? Did I get them to buy into the idea that they are selling themselves short? That there's a misalignment between what they value and what they have? Then it becomes a natural progression that the sale will be made. And even if the sale is not made, because I have instilled with them, revealed to them, hey, this is what you are actually missing, the why behind the why, right? Then it automatically becomes a point of just like it's just a matter of time, right?
Right.
I think that looking at like this progression of like, reiterating and testing and things like that, I think that that is something that a lot of people that have the corporate mindset, they lack coming into the free market kind of process, the testing and the reiteration kind of thing, right? Which really kind of speaks to something that I really want to talk to you about, which is like there's a statement in um, like the hypnosis kind of community, which is hypnosis, neuro-linguistic programming, all that kind of cool stuff, which is it's not a matter of getting people into trance, but moving them from one trance to the next, because we're already operating on one. So I wanted to ask, like, for you specifically, like, do you agree with that? Do you not agree with that? Like, how do you feel about that?
No, I do agree with that as well. And like, I have haters, by the way, like, and they tell me, hey, like, hypnotizing people in sales call is absolutely wrong. I agree with that. I don't hypnotize people on the call. Like, even if I knew how to do it, I would never do it.
Mm,
I use hypnosis principles in the call. Like, funny thing is, I'm working with the world's best hypnotist. I'm training a sales team. I'm taking calls for him
mm,
sometimes, even just check lead quality and end up closing these deals on like
mm,
accidentally, But
mm,
he was actually listening to my calls, because my sales call recording are being stacked on his like, and on his Fathom, And he
mm,
told me, hey, like June, like your style is very hypnotic. You use a lot of hypnotic processes, your words are very hypnotic. And
mm,
I knew what I was doing already. It's because
mm,
like you're absolutely right. We're absolutely working on like we have a default state already.
mm,
We're already in trance already.
mm,
It's a like for example, even like scrolling on Facebook or Instagram or TikTok and like watching these short form over and over again,
mm,
that's like one of the strongest form of hypnosis. You're getting
mm,
hypnotized. Or like
mm.
writing a copy, for example, and ending up buying from a copy. Like even reading is a form of hypnosis as well.
Exactly
Like
right.
like also like from an age of 0 to 7, like for example, if I give you a toy gun, for example, like if I give you a toy
Mm,
gun right now, you're gonna be like, hey
mm,
June, what the fuck? Like you think I'm a kid? Like you have a conscious barrier where you process the toy gun as a toy gun now. It's no use for you,
mm,
It's not fun for you.
mm,
But if you're 7 years old and I gave you that toy gun, you'd be like, you with that toy gun, you'll be killing like imaginary dragons already, which is absolutely real for you. That
exactly
that
right.
toy gun is absolutely real for you. From the age of zero
Mm.
to seven, you're at a very
Best kid
hypnotic state
fallacy.
already. Yeah, you're at a hypnotic state,
Mm,
which forms who you are, and you're very programmable.
mm,
Right? Kids are always curious, right? They always ask why. Like they're
mm,
always curious. They're always like coming from a place of like, they're always confused, and they always come up with they always question why.
mm,
Like those are a state that I induce people on in a call as well. So when I'm on a call, someone pointed out, "Hey June, like you never really blink your eyes." Well, it's because
mm,
I'm in a trance state as well. I'm in a very
mm,
very very focused state.
mm,
Like one of the indicators of me, and this is my standard by the way.
mm,
Like people say, hey, like oh, like yeah, like I performed this word track and it was beautiful. No, no, it's not about that. For me, like to know
mm,
whether I did the call the right way or not is when I get on a call, I'm in the thought process of like every single word that the person says, I'm not gonna let go of that. And
mm,
if I even miss out on one word, like literally, like my something wrong happens to my family. I know it's extreme,
mm,
but that's just the mindset that I
mm,
have. Second thing that I have when I get on the call is like I always ask, why did that person say that word, or say it that way, or have that body language? For
mm,
example, last time we talked about this as well. It's like when I get on a sales call review for my own calls or now for my students, like I just like one sentence. It takes me like there's a time where I was just sitting down for 2 hours for one sentence, one answer from a prospect. That was the level of
Boxing it
obsession
out.
I had.
Mm,
Yeah, boxing it out because like for example, I was asking the prospect, hey, like what do you want to achieve personally? And the prospect said, hey, I just want to make 10K a month. Let me know what you guys let me know what you guys got going. The person that decided
mm,
to respond it that way. I was looking to that tape and thinking to myself, if like he could have answered, hey, I want to make 10K a month. He could have answered that way. But why did he use the word just? I just want to make 10K a month. And there was a slight
mm,
pause at that tone,
Mm,
and why did he decide to even use that word just? And then why did he
mm,
decide to feel like he needs to deflect that now and be like, let me know what you guys got going on? Why did he feel like he
mm,
had to put on that mask though? What's going on? So
mm.
this is my thought process, and therefore I get into the whole rabbit hole like psychology and all that programming, all that like belief system, all that, in the end.
Because we think when we speak, and we speak when we think, or write
Yep.
in this case, right? And so a lot of times you can find out what either you yourself are thinking or what other people are thinking by what they are currently saying or writing at the time. And by the way, hypnosis, just for those of you who are like, what the heck is hypnosis? You may have a different definition of it, but hypnosis, by definition, is any process that you use to engage beliefs, imaginations, or emotion. So by that definition alone, hypnosis is everyday conversation. Um, I had a I had a coach one time I was learning from. He said that everyone is a hypnotist. Just some are good and some are bad, right? It's the best people that you know, the best people that you know, the people that you really, really enjoy being around, they are hypnotists. These are people that you spend time with, and it seems like the moment that you sit with them, it's not like time is flying by. You're thinking about things, you're feeling things, you're seeing things in your mind. Those are the people we call them great conversationalists, right? So hypnosis is just communication at its core. It's just what we do as human beings. It's how we work. Now, um, one of the things I think that um something that you said I want to kind of pick at, which was you said I'm in my own trance, right? I'm in my own trance on sales calls. The person pointed out that you're not blinking. And I noticed that too. I noticed that too, but I didn't make the connection between the two, right? So like is that something that you deliberately try to do? Or is something that just naturally happens because of the fact that you're focusing on trying to get into language and understand what's going on behind the words?
Yeah, like I'm super like I'm super fucking focused on the call. Like even
Mm-hmm.
right now, I'm pretty sure if you look at the tape
Mm-hmm.
back at it again, like you would not see me blinking so much. It's because I'm
Mm-hmm.
like extremely engaged. Like
Mm-hmm.
I have metaphorically, I have different cameras when I interact with someone. I look at their body
Mm-hmm.
language. I look at what words they decide to use. I look at
Mm-hmm.
their like demeanor. I look at their tonality. I constantly ask myself, why did that person decide to say that word or say it that way, or why did that person decide to, for
Mm-hmm.
example, why did that person decide to pause over there, for example? Like those are the lenses that I have when I get on the call.
Mm-hmm.
Like, or even like, what is the thought process behind choosing that word? What's going on unconsciously inside of them that makes them choose that word? Because when we speak, we're basing on muscle memory. Muscle memory is unconscious, by the way. So,
Mm-hmm.
what in their unconscious mind keeps on having them to use certain language patterns or languages itself that has themselves short?
Right.
So I'm extremely focused. Like every single word that the prospect says, I'm registering in my mind now,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of people don't pick on this, but the things that the prospect said 20 minutes ago, I like there are times where I go back to what they said 20 minutes ago very
Mm-hmm.
shortly after 20 minutes. Like literally remember every single detail that the prospect did and just register it. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like one of the only times I'm focused in life would be like when I'm on a sales call, probably
Right.
on a sales
Right.
call. Yeah.
Right. Like there are multiple levels of listening. What you said reminded me of something that Chris Voss said in his book that was Split the Difference. First of all, a lot of people don't understand that part of being a great salesperson is being a great listener. People will tell you everything you need to know if you just pay attention. Um, but it also speaks to the fact of how many things you're actually missing out on a sales call. Like there's so many just in everyday conversation, to be fair. Chris Voss was talking about that when they would do negotiations, when they would do hostage negotiations and things like that, it wouldn't just be him listening. He would have like 2 or 3 other people behind him also listening. So he's in the conversation with the person, but he has some other people listening to the same conversation and then tell him the things that he may have missed at the time. Can you imagine how many things we're missing out on a daily basis? That is
Yeah.
insane.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I'm working on a 46K deal right now, and this
Mm,
guy came in the call completely unaware, by the way, in terms of what we do.
right.
He was like, I even had to call him twice to have him show up to the call. So he showed up. He was like, I asked him, well, how can I help? He was like, well, I don't know what you guys do. Like, what can you guys do to help me? I was like, hey, so like, what do you want? What do you want from life? I was like,
Mm,
I have everything in my life. I'm like, I have my kids. I'm like semi-retired. I'm making like 400K a month passively right now. And yeah, like, I mean, tell me what you guys do over here.
mm,
At that single point on, like, a lot of people would be stuck.
mm,
And I was like, and I felt something was off. Felt something was off
mm,
for some reason based on his body language. And that was my complete intuition over here kicking in. So I decided to
mm,
ask, hey man, like, are you 100% happy with your life? Are you 100% fulfilled in your life right now? I was like,
mm,
why do you ask? No, I just have a gut feeling. If you're 100%
mm,
fulfilled, by the way, all good to you, man. I was like, yeah, I'm sort of fulfilled. And then once I heard that, I was like, okay, it's game over
mm.
now.
Game
In
on
my
now.
mind. Yeah. So I was like, hey man, like, you're a smart guy. You're almost in your 70s right now. You're making 400K a month. That is not that cannot be achieved if you're not savvy.
Mm,
If you're not sharp. Do you know that our internal dialogue creates our external reality though?
mm,
So let me ask you, what is sort of fulfilled though?
mm,
Like, that's where the conversation all started, by the way.
mm,
And then in the end, the guy said that was the best conversation that I ever had since
mm.
the year of 1998.
Wow.
Because
From a
like
completely unaware.
nobody dared to ask that question. And my third question was like, are you 100% fulfilled by the way right now?
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't making eye contact with me. He was like looking around. One of those people be like looking around and be like looking at the
Yeah.
screen and be like, hey, like, what's going on? And yeah, like, tell me what you guys going on over here.
He
It was
locked in
seeming
on their
very,
call or didn't their
yeah,
question or
yeah,
didn't
yeah.
he?
But the thing
Mm-hmm.
is, he still showed up. There's something going on despite of all of
Mm-hmm.
that. He still
Mm-hmm.
picked up. He decided to still hop on a Zoom call.
Right.
So he was like,
Right.
"Hey, what can you guys do? What can you guys do?" That he said
Right.
that twice. What is going on in his unconscious mind that keeps on asking for help over here?
What is he searching for?
So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like, you're all set. You decide to get on the call with a random guy. He kept on asking, what can you guys do?" Like, in a very aggressive manner, even
Mm-hmm.
in a very aggressive manner, trying to hide something.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where my
Mm-hmm.
gut instinct kicked in. It was like, hey, like, are 100% happy with your life? Are 100% fulfilled with your life?
Right.
Like, yeah,
Right.
I'm sort of fulfilled right now. So tell me what you guys going on? I was like, hey, cut the what can we do for you? I'm talking with you here right now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a savvy guy. What is sort of fulfilled? What does that even fucking mean?
Mm.
That's where the conversation started, basically.
Because it was unique. It was a unique word there, like someone
Yeah,
fulfilled. That's kind of
yeah.
weird, right?
Sort of fulfilled. Like, what is that? You're either fulfilled or not. You're either
Mm-hmm.
fulfilled or not. What is sorta?
Yeah.
Like, what in this unconscious mind decided to compensate it and say sorta? That's a level of detail that I get in the call.
Mm.
Because
I
what are you
find
gonna
it
do? Like, you're
interesting.
gonna pitch him? Okay, like, I feel I cannot, like, normal sales guy, like, be like, I cannot pitch him. Like, he's got everything sorted out. It's like I caught something on the call. It's not me trying to toot my own horn or anything. It's just like, that's just the reality. That's supposed to be the standard, at least for me.
Yeah.
Not, I don't know about other people, that at least that's standard for me that I set for myself.
I thought one of the things that you and I know Matt Ryder. He's a good dude. I think
Yep.
you had him on your podcast, Danish, right?
Yeah, like
Um,
2 years ago. Yeah.
yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Time
Uh,
flies.
this wow, time flies. Well, let's see. And something that he said years ago, we were all on a coaching meeting one time, and he said you want to be able to free your skill set, right? Like you want to be able to sell or persuade without needing a whole lot of like preamble or prerequisites, right? So, for example, the context he was talking about was at the time door to door. He's like, imagine how free you can be where you can just knock on a door and make money. right? Or pick up a phone call cold and make money, right? One of the things I said it to bring attention to the fact of like you're working on a call, you're working on an offer that doesn't have a whole lot of marketing involved, right? So I guess my question to you would be just like first of all, why didn't you like most people shy away from the offer because it didn't have like the systems and processes in place? And like what was your game plan or strategy about going into the offer to make it work?
Well, I'm building a sales team, and it was a. I mean, yeah, you usually say no to like training sales teams, but it was a good friend,
Mm-hmm.
Ibrahim. Like he's the one that hypnotized me this year as well. So I was like, he's a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
I vibe with him, so I was like, you know what, like you're a good friend. I want to help you out. He was like, hey, take some sales calls for us if you can. I was like, you know what, you know what, ugh, why not? Why not? First call in, close the sale. You know, right, and I took like 11 sales calls that week. I shouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
taking 11 sales calls, by the way. I should be like taking
Mm-hmm.
like just three sales calls, it's done. I took 11
Mm-hmm.
sales calls, closed eight. Five of them
Mm-hmm.
gave me objections. Basically, closed all of them. You know, all
Mm-hmm.
five objections, by the way. And these are
Mm-hmm.
people that are like entrepreneurial, by the way. They're at
Mm-hmm.
least making 25K a month. And it's like, okay, June, you're talking to people that have the money. I'm pitching like a 10K, one session, 10K hypnosis session for 60 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But I, I fuck with what you said. Is that can you have a bum like a complete stranger sell one session hypnosis for 10K?
Mm-hmm.
Where on earth teaches you a skill set where you can persuade someone, influence someone to spend 10K on one hypnosis session? You see some of my sales calls, like the calls I post, for example, like I pitched 24K for like three or
Mm-hmm.
four sessions for hypnosis, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like people, like I'm competing with people that are like hypnotists that charge $250 an hour for their time. We
Mm-hmm.
charge like 40, 50x.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I talk about influence, for example. And it's
You
like
actually shared a
I
call on Facebook, which was like the person. It was a post you did. It was like a 96K, and then you said this one call was 32K, like zero prior experience whatsoever, right? Was that right? Is 32K
yeah.
like zero? Like, how did you do that?
So what was the question again?
How do you close sales with no marketing input in anything?
It's very difficult, by the way. Like process is always stronger than sales skills, right? Like
Yes,
that's one thing that I'll always have prerequisite. And second of all, there's nothing that you can do to make someone do something, by the way.
there
There
you
needs
go.
to be some level of desire still, right?
Hmm.
It's not like I'm like legit hypnotizing these people. I'm using hypnotic principles for fuck's sake, you know. Um,
Walking with a pocket watch. You want
I
you
mean,
want 10K.
even with hypnosis, by the way, you need to be suggestible enough for that, even though.
Yeah, you have to be
So
open enough to it. Hmm.
yeah, like I mean, how to sell with least marketing is
Hmm.
like you gotta like you cannot settle your standard with like, hey, like the whole dialogue of like, hey, like these are human beings, just talk like a human being, you know? I
Hmm.
get where that's coming from, but that is
Hmm.
not my fucking standard. Like
It's an
you gotta
annoying quote.
have you gotta have advanced concepts be your default. The
Hmm.
things that I ask in the sales calls, no one would dare ask these.
Hmm.
Only a handful of people would be able to do what I'm doing. But that's just my
Hmm.
standard. So for me, like how do you do that? Like one of the thing like there are three things that I really like to focus on in a call as well.
Hmm.
Is number one is decode a human being in less than 1 minute.
Hmm.
Because if I decode a human being in less than 1 minute, I know which strings to pull. It's very like
Hmm.
sales become very, very predictable, right?
Hmm.
Sales become very, very predictable. Second of all, I like to be able to put someone in trance in
Hmm.
terms of making sure that I induce a confused state. Because there are certain things that people do to sell themselves short. And this comes to my sales philosophy. Why are you selling
Hmm.
yourself short when it can be more? So once I
Hmm.
understand what they're selling, once they understand through me what they're selling themselves short, I'm automatically authority. Automatically authority.
This is a reminder.
Hmm.
And number three
Circulation.
would be I want to be able to plan new identity, please.
Hmm.
New identity, please. Right. I mean, there are certain things that I do as well. On top of that would be like having a having a presentation, having a pitch where you raise objections and you get them psyched into you, right? Those are things that I
Mm-hmm.
do, but
Mm-hmm.
those are three aspects that I really
Those are the
focused
pillars.
on during the call, right?
Those are the pillars.
Yeah. Long story
Do
short is
you?
pattern intro.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And like for you, um, it's interesting too, like you talked about, that the person that you're selling for is the person that sold you into hypnosis, right? Like you weren't always a believer of hypnosis, right?
So it's funny because I met the guy in the gym. Shout out to Ibrahim. I met the guy in the gym
Mm-hmm.
through a mutual friend. I did not even know he was a hypnotist. This was the first encounter of the guy. And the guy said, "Oh, I'm a hypnotist. I hypnotize billionaires." I was like, "Okay,
Mm-hmm.
another
Mm-hmm.
bullshitter here happening in Bali. What the fuck's yeah? I gotta leave Bali at this fucking point, you know." So I legit. So for me, like, I'm a straight shooter, so I'm like, "Hey, I respect what you do, but I just believe hypnosis is bullshit, you know." That's what I said.
Mm-hmm.
40
Mm-hmm.
minutes of the conversation, I was like, "You know what? Usually I find myself being right many times, but I like to be proven wrong in this one, and that's my life motto. By
Mm-hmm.
the way, I like to be proven wrong every single
Mm-hmm.
time. Most of the time, I'm right though. So, but looking so after 40-minute conversation in, from completely not even unaware but anti-aware to
Mm-hmm.
now, like, I paid the guy $8,000, paid in full. He gave me a little
Mm-hmm.
discount. I was like, because he charged $10,000 an hour.
Right,
He gave me
right.
$8,000. So I was like, okay, well, paid in full on the spot, and then got a session done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so I've seen the benefits of it. I've seen how it works, and
What do
I've
you imagine the
seen.
hypnotist was like before meeting Ibrahim?
I did not even. I wasn't really aware of hypnosis in general. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really aware of. I'm not. If people know me, they know that I'm not a mindset guy. They know I'm just a work hard,
Mm-hmm.
disciplined, like David Goggins, push through type of guy. You know, that's just
I'm
me.
actually shocked at hearing that.
Like, I am the type of guy, actually, like, for a very long time. And I was like, you know what? I like to be proven wrong. I like to be proven wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, I, s- I was like, okay, this is a whole different level of awareness that I was just not aware of, you know, or refused to be aware of.
Mm-hmm.
Where if I just spill the beans a little bit, for example, I realized that I was placing a lot of value in what I achieve. What I
Mm-hmm.
achieve. What I mean by that is, like, from the age of 0 to 7, or even my whole entire childhood, if I
Mm-hmm.
don't get good grades, there was one time, for example, I was like 11 years old. I was
Mm-hmm.
like number 14 out of 300 students in terms of my grades,
Mm-hmm.
and my mom was like, "You should have done better, though. You should have done better. You
Mm-hmm.
would, like, you should have done better." And my mom,
Mm-hmm.
it's not like I'm pointing fingers on my mom, because my mom did the
Right.
best she knew at her capacity.
Yep.
But at that
Everyone's
single
doing the
age, I
best they
was like,
can.
"Oh, yeah, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough. For
Right.
if I don't perform, I'm not good enough." Now, coming to the
Mm-hmm.
age of like 29, to up to this age, 29, it's it's turned into a pattern of, like, if I don't make enough money, if I don't um
So
if I
the
don't
metrics have
show this type
changed.
of, yeah, if I'm not a huge lifestyle, but if I don't show this type of lifestyle, if I don't retire my mom, which I have retired my mom 3 years ago, but
Mm-hmm.
if I don't serve my mom, if I don't send her money every single month, for example, if I don't make certain amount of money, then I'm a failure. I'm not good enough.
Mm-hmm.
What's the dialogue that happened from that? And what I
Mm-hmm.
realized, that that's what kept me stuck for a very long time,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, financially, physically as well.
That's how you got
Where
out of that's how you got out of an Ibrahim session with you.
yeah. Like, I was
Mm-hmm.
like sort of aware, but now it's like, oh, okay, it's concrete. It makes
Painfully
sense
obvious
now.
now.
Yeah, it's
Mm-hmm.
obvious now at this point. So it's like, okay, I went to Ibrahim to make more money, actually.
Right.
But ironically, I found the key to the castle is, like, if I don't feel good about myself, like, I can make more money based on guilt and shame, but it will be a lot of
Yeah.
sacrifices, like tears, blood, sweat, like all that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if I just feel good about myself the whole entire time, regardless of what results I create,
Mm-hmm.
then the things that I put my mind into, that's where I can actually get effortless success. So after
Mm-hmm.
that, after I got hypnotized, I was like, you know what? Fuck this bullshit. So 3 months, I for 3 months I stopped posting content. I stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I I semi shut down my coaching business back then
Right.
because because I was like, what's the point of all this? I was fulfilling for my clients, but I was not
Mm-hmm.
necessarily marketing it, you know. So I was like about
Right.
to like semi shut it down. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
what am I doing this for? I'm not being truthful. I don't feel like I'm being truthful to myself. And
Mm-hmm.
then recently I made a post like a month ago saying like, hey, I apologize to my previous students because I was teaching like um the
The
watered down version of
fundamentals.
yeah, the watered down. I felt like that was the fundamentals, but I was just watering down what I actually do. Because what I actually
Mm-hmm.
do in the calls is complete different from what I actually teach. But I felt like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, these people need like the fundamentals, which is like who defined those are fundamentals in the first place? So for me, I was like, I was deeply selling myself short, and I was projecting my own limitations onto my students as well, being like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
you guys don't understand the advanced things that I do, so keep on learning the painting and feature pacing. But that was
Mm-hmm.
my own projections to my own self, is that I
Mm-hmm.
don't deserve more. So that's where like, you know what, fuck it. If if people really don't understand my concept, so what? I'm just gonna
Mm-hmm.
coach or teach what I actually do in the calls now. That's where the whole
Mm-hmm.
hypnotic selling concept came from, you know.
Mm-hmm. I think I think that when you well, the reason why I brought that up is because like even when it comes down to like finding offers to sell for, one of the easiest ways to kind of start the process is just to start with what you're already getting benefits from or things you want to get benefits from, right? So like in your case, it was Ibrahim, teaching you, excuse me, going through the hypnosis process, showing you what that was like, and then it's like, okay, well, great, that makes more sense now. I also like the fact that of how you move through the world. You're looking for um, you're looking for clarity, not confirmation, right? Most people move through the world looking to confirm what they already know, but you're looking for clarification of what you know. I'm looking to be proven wrong. I'm not often proven wrong, but I'm open to being proven wrong. Very, very powerful way to kind of move through the world. I think
Yeah.
that my favorite quote on like the term of humility, for example, is not thinking less of yourself, for example. It's having an honest estimation, clear level thinking about what you're doing and who you are, right?
Yeah.
If you are the best in the world, if you are the best in the world at what you do, but you tell everyone you're okay, you're lying, right?
Yeah.
It's not humility, that's lying, you see? So it's being able to have a great an honest estimation about who you are and what you do, what you're like, and then being able to honestly share those things within reason, right?
Yeah.
Um, I also think that, a few things that kind of stood out to me for sure on this call. Number one is, ironing out your sales philosophy. I don't think a lot of people have one. Like we were talking about a bit earlier, I don't think that people have one. I don't even think that people even know how to construct one. So like, listen to your progress of I was here and then I was here and now I'm here. It's not going to be an overnight thing. It's not going to be an overnight thing, but what you can do now, if I would kind of like put like an activity on this, it would be you can start off with a draft of what you think it might be, right? And then seek to confirm or to clarify if that's true, if that comes out in your everyday life as you do sales calls. So that was a really, really good one. Another thing too was networking, right? Being able to be a real human being, being useful, being valuable to other people, which is what human beings do. We're made to mirror, we're made to be in community, and communities help one another, right? It was also fun to hear about. It's also fun to hear about the birthday thing, where these people are doing really really high levels of income, but they're still like joking around having fun, right? A lot of people when they perceive wealth, they perceive it like these are aliens. These are aliens just kind of walking around like they're just walking around stiff as a board. These people are actually enjoying the life that they have with other people. It also points to the fact you got to get out of your house, right? You can't spend all of your life in your room just taking self Now you can do that for a period of time, right? Like in your case, you can do that for a period of time, but at some point you gotta get out and you gotta move around. Another thing that I really really like, and I think a lot of people will be able to take away from would be um would be choosing to change what you believe is a possible and realistic for yourself. Like finding your own unique motivation for things. I was on a call recently doing an interview with another gentleman, and we were talking about how sometimes you are given a way of thinking by someone you respect, but it doesn't align with how you see the world. Like in your case, like let's say the person's like, it's like a kill or be killed kind of society. You got it's kill or be killed. Everybody's in competition. Everybody's an enemy. That may work for them, and it may push them to whatever levels they need to get to, but that may not align with you. You may be more of a person like the easiest way to get what you want is just help other people get more of what they want. You know what I'm saying? So finding your own motivation, finding out what aligns for you, and allowing that to be the fuel to get to the next stage of your journey. Right?
Right.
And that was awesome. Anything else you want to add to, like, anything I've shared so far, something that you wish people would know that they don't?
No. For me, I always say like, hey, seem effortless, but be fucking dangerous. So all the time.
What does
Right.
that mean?
If you go back to, for example, like networking, just one aspect is like I know there are people that are very funny, but I can't fuck with them. For example, I can't fuck over them. The moment I know they're very dangerous people. Not dangerous in terms of they're gonna kill me or anything. They're gonna assassinate. It's not like that. I know they're like really. Yeah, I know that they're really, really good at what they do. They have competency, and they're just not taking themselves any seriously, right? The thing is, like, that's how I'm being perceived in my network as well. Is that I'm very funny and humorous and very self-deprecating with people, but all these people respect me. I'm Many times I make less money than them. Many times because I'm legit like the first guy that I've ever networked with in Dubai was like I was getting a protein shake, and the guy next to me came up to me and I said, "Hey, how's it going, man?" Like, and then we're having conversation about Venezuela and freaking like Donald Trump and random conversation. Later I found out he's a billionaire. But the guy respects me not because I demanded respect, but because like he knows the level of passion that I have. He knows that I'm obsessed over this shit. He knows that I'm fucking good at what I do. And you mentioned a really good thing. It's like, hey, like if you're really good at what you do, it's like telling yourself like, hey, I'm okay is a disgrace. I legit like call me egotistical or whatever, but I legit believe that no one's better than me in sales. I legit believe that no one can be more obsessed over like persuasion influence more than me, Like I I'm the type of guy that I look at like sales call recordings from like scroll down my phone and like I'm like, is that the best you got? Like that's my mentality. That's really this what really you're showcasing like your best sales call over social media. That's just me. I'm just very toxic in that way. But because I know the level of competency, I know the level of obsession that I put in this craft. So that's what I say is like, hey, seem effortless, but always be dangerous. Like
Exactly
can't
right.
be yeah, like I mean, if you're boring and you're like a target, like you're like no one's gonna take you seriously in your network.
Yeah. Yeah, and don't be afraid to, and this is something I kind of noticed even within your content, especially more recently for sure, has been don't be afraid to kind of stand out in the crowd, right? To be different, to take a position for or against something that you respect or value. Because you're automatically going to turn off some people, but you're automatically going to align with some people too,
Yeah.
right? And so finding ways to be unique, be different. Don't be afraid to follow your own rules within reason, of course. I don't go around destroying people's lives, but move through your world on your own basis. Like figure out what your rules for success actually are. And I remember one person I like to listen to from time to time. His name is Nero Knowledge. I'm not sure you're familiar with him. Um,
No.
but something that he said stood out to me, which was inherently in the rules of success, there's not an absolute good or evil, right? But depending upon whether you adopt those rules or not, those things can turn out to be good or evil. So, for example, let's say you believe that you've been convinced that waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning is the standard. Like, if you're not waking up at 4 o'clock in the morning, you're not serious, you're not a real entrepreneur. If you're not waking up at that time, right, then what you're doing is you're just violating yourself. But you can also by default change those rules to suit the path of the journey that you're on. I do not wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning, like interest in imagination, not what I do.
Yeah.
But I do find myself priding upon setting my craft, helping out other people, finding yourself like, going through your old calls and, asking questions, things like that. You find what are the rules that govern your success and then follow them to the letter or change them if they're no longer useful. Right.
Yeah.
Me and Drew was talking earlier about like our mutual the person that got us in the industry, Dan, right? And for a period of time, like Dan was like, you should only look for these types of offers and shouldn't have to do any follow up and all that kind of stuff. And like as we begin to grow, we've been to find out like that idea, that way of thinking isn't the most useful. Um, like you said, you actually heard people kind of talking about that whole idea, like following up and connection and things like that. He said
Yeah,
it's
even
not.
till this very day, like people say like they for example, not to like diss someone publicly or anything, but I know people, okay, the sales industry is pretty fucked and the standards very fucking low in regards to I know people who I'm gonna be talking to my best friend Brian Choi, for example. I know one sales coach that got coached by Brian. He paid a payment plan, say he's gonna commit. Brian told him to do outbounds and what? Follow-ups. The guy said, no, I'd rather get a massage that time. He did the next month he decided not to continue the payment plan, which is like, bro, you're a sales guy and you have committed to mastery and you're not going to commit on the payment plan. Second of all, like you are telling yourself that you'd rather go get a massage in Bali while you're living in Bali than do follow-ups. And now guess what? He's a sales coach, a very well-known one. And now he's ranting salespeople that they're fucking lazy. Like there are times where I was fired in the first 2.5 years, but I was never fired for being lazy. On the contrary, I was fired for lack of skills, but they were always telling me it was a hard decision to fire you because of the attitude that you had. Because you'll be the one who's dialing these people, but you're just putting a lot of people in, so you cannot. But at least I was never fired for lack of discipline. Another sales coach that I know, like for example, they say they made 6 figures a month, like 100K a month or whatever. Not gonna name names, but I know the backstory of how they made 100K a month, for example, and like no follow-ups. Like you're closing 50K, 100K deals, and okay, you could really want to go close a 50K deal. Show me, show me, like really, like 50K on a sales call online with zero marketing. I like show me that. I'm willing to see that. I even challenge like legit like so it comes from a belief like like there's no one that can be the best because I have my own proven track record plus I do my own sales calls. There are people that really commented on my reels, for example, saying, "Hey, like you should always be preventing objections. You should not be objection handling. Objection handling is like manipulative or whatever." Like sales coaches commenting on my posts, I challenge those sales coaches to come sell with me and the same offer. Hey, dude, just let's take 10 calls to see who closes more. Like you can call me egotistical and narcissistic, but I know the level of obsession that I put in this game. They're the ones typing. They're the ones commenting. They're the ones like engaging.
Keyboard warriors.
I'm the one creating. I'm the one innovating. I'm the one paving the road. Right? Like before you tell someone like they're lazy, better do your own fucking follow-ups and stuff like getting a massage in the first place. Instead of being so fucking chill. Like, what are you so fucking chill for? I don't get it.
Yeah, you broke. And that's really true. It's like I think it was Zach. Zach was talking about this one time. He was like, people said they're doing 100K. And there are, by the way, we're not saying that there aren't people who are doing 100K. There aren't people who are doing like, in terms of commission, like we know quite a few of them that do. What we're saying is that a lot of times when you're looking at marketing, you're looking at things like that, it is exactly that. It's marketing. Right, it's positioning the best, but not necessarily revealing the reality. Like it's not teaching you, it's selling you. And so like there's a big contrast between what is marketed and what is actually played out in real life in real time. That's all we're saying.
For example,
So
like
it's like
exactly like Jeremy Miner, like huge kudos to Jeremy Miner, by the way. He made 240K a month in commissions, right? But the thing is, his one sale commission was like it was like 5K, 6K commissions on one deal, So It's like if you sell, I mean, even like 50 of that, that's 250K a month, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And not to discredit Jeremy Minor, it's just like it shows you that like
Variables.
100K a month is not what you think it is. But in order, okay,
Mm-hmm.
then you can ask me, hey June, how do I get to this 100K a month? Then you gotta be really like everything I talked about is pure over to this point right now. The networking, the being competent, everything needs to be in place. And if you're competent in what you
Mm-hmm.
do, if you're competent in what you do and undeniable at what you do, then there's no way you're not gonna get unnoticed. Because for me,
Right.
I was looking to hire 3 sales reps for three different A plus offers last
Mm-hmm.
month. I couldn't even pick one. I literally couldn't even pick one. So I had to lower my standards and be like, you know what? At least you have the attitude. You don't have sales skills. At least you have the attitude. So let me train you. So I
Mm-hmm.
decided to go with someone who's zero sales experience and someone who has 2 years experience, but absolute jack shit. But that's, guess
Mm-hmm.
what? That's 99% of sales reps right now. I
Mm-hmm.
can name only me and Bogdan Mitchell, like literally 3 days ago, we were talking about it. But we had a conversation about this. There are literally less than 20 people that we can count on that are actually good at what they do, and the rest are absolute garbage.
Mm-hmm. That's a scary.
That's
That's a
like,
scary statistic, but it should tell you some things.
yep, yep. That is scary. Like, it's not only just for me, but Bogdan. Like, I talk with Brian on consistent basis. Like all the top sales rep that we look up to. Like, there's not a lot of talents here. There's not a lot of good people. There's not a lot of people who are undeniably competent at what they do.
Right. Right. And I
Yeah.
think I think it points to something that Eli Wild used to say all the time, which was there are three things that you'll need. You need skill sets, you need mindset, you need systems. And more than likely, if you're not already where you want to be, chances are it's in one of those. There's an error, there's misalignment in one of those three areas or a few of those areas. Coupling that with the idea of just like, you know, if what we're saying like kind of hits home with you, and you're like, oh, that kind of stings. Just it's okay, as long as you're aware now. But now you now need to focus on like what is the next thing that we need to build. Alex Mosey said one time, he said a lot of times when people are looking at the results of someone else, whatever those results may be, they're looking at that and they're celebrating that, but they haven't figured out the journey to get from point A to point B. He said, let's say that you're building a skill set or you're trying to build a career, and there are 12 things that you need to master or become highly skilled at in order to make that result you just saw happen. And right now, you're at 3 of the 12, right? But the other person's at 8 or 9 of the 12, right? The focus now is to figure out what are the other steps that need to be in place and they need to be built in order to get to the next stage of the journey, right?
Yeah.
So if this is like painful for you guys, it's okay. You'll be all right. Just take some time, think about what you need to do, and start working on that. Don't be an ostrich. Just get to work, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
100%.
man, I've had a pleasure. I've always had time. I always have fun talking to you, June. You always are
Yeah,
like,
same here, bro. Like we're you're an OG in the space. Start very very early. Me as well. So we're the unks, we're the unks in the space, and that's that's pretty much it, for me.
yeah, man, yeah, man, yeah, man. And if people want to reach out to you, what is the best way to do so? If they want to learn
Um,
hypnotic selling to become better.
yeah, at Hypnotic Closer, that's where my IG is. Just reach out to me and I'll say hi.
Mm-hmm. Very good, very good. Well, listen, we've talked about quite a few things. We kind of recapped a few times. Everything from being a better listener, that you're more than likely missing a lot more than you think you are, and that's what's causing a lot of the problems in your sales cycle. Number two, which was be useful, be helpful to be a better networker, right? Number three, there's a difference between marketing and teaching and education. So being able to be aware of like what exactly you're looking at any given time. Number four, which is take the time to raise your standards. Um, chances are, chances are, what you're doing right now is not what you want to do. Like I was talking to a guy recently, and I got to go. I was talking to a guy recently, and I said, he was asking me about evaluating this offer one time, and he said the promise OTE, quote unquote, was like 5K, something like that. And I said, you could do that because you have a lot of sales. I said, you could do that. You can able to do that. I said, but the question you have to ask is it's like, is that because he had been like had a habit of kind of getting around those kinds of offers? And I said, I have a question for you, my friend. I said, is that what you originally got into the space to make, 2 to 5K? And he was like, no. I said, then what you need to try to figure out is if figuring out what you actually want to actually be making, and then figure out what is the best environment necessary to make that happen. Even if you have
Yep.
to start at the bottom, figure out what that is. And then the last thing was figuring out your sales ethos or philosophy. Figuring out for you what makes a solid sales call apart from like whether it closed or not. All right. Now listen, if all these things resonate with you, got a lot of aha moments, like just comment below. I'll be looking at them. I like to comment on every person who commented. I think it's really, really cool. But until the next time, I think the next episode that we'll be going over, we'll be focusing in on mindset secrets, how to hack your thinking, how to be more of a ruthless implementer instead of a passive observer. So until that next time, until I have the opportunity to talk with you guys again, I always want to let you know that you're always closer than you think. All right, bye-bye.
Ciao. Cool.